Test. Okay, we have sound. Yes, we do. We got battery, we got sound. Okay. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Casey and I'm the designer behind Pattern Scout. And as 2022 comes to an end, I kind of just wanted to reflect on the year and talk about some of my plans for Pattern Scout in the new year. I love planning at the beginning of each year. It feels like a fresh start and it's fun to kind of look back over the previous year, see what worked, see what didn't, and see how I can improve for the year to come. And while I also make a plan, I think part of the reason that I enjoy it is that I also give myself permission to basically change my mind and not follow the plan if I don't want to. So I give myself a lot of flexibility there, but I do like to kind of set the intention for the year and it just gives me a jumping off point. So I think that's a good thing. All right, let's talk about 2022. So this is the last week of 2022. And I am pretty much done with most of the things I'm planning to do this year. So at the beginning of 2022, I had a goal to create 4 patterns this year, or at least 4 new patterns to sell. I did one pattern. I released a pattern early in the year, the poppy blouse, and that pattern did well, and I was really happy with how that one turned out. And then I just kind of lost steam for creating patterns. And part of that is because I got so much more involved in creating content here on YouTube. And I've chatted about this before. It's the same old story. It's really hard to do both at the same time, to create the patterns and do the YouTube videos at the same time, because both require so much editing and attention that it's hard to have them both going simultaneously. And I am a one-woman show, so I kind of took the pressure off. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna kind of follow my creative spirit here and see where it leads me. And it definitely led me more into creating more YouTube content. Now, in addition to that one pattern that I released this year, I am releasing a new pattern actually this week. When you see this video, I will also be launching a new pattern called the Birch Vest. It's a vest pattern that I've been working on for a little while now, and I just wrapped up testing on it, and as of filming this, I am putting the final touches on it, but by the time you see this video, the pattern will be launched. And you can go to my website. I'll put a link in the description below this video so you can see all the details about that pattern. And then next week, I am planning to have a sew along for the Birch Vest, the first week in January. At first this year, I was a little stressed that I wasn't releasing more patterns because I kind of put this quota on myself to do more patterns. But then I remembered that I am my own boss and I can do what I want to do. And what I really wanted to do was focus more on YouTube because I was having so much fun with YouTube. And as much as I enjoy creating the patterns, I think I might actually enjoy creating content here on YouTube even more. This is something that's kind of crept up on me and surprised me a little bit over the last year or so. I really love being here. I love being on this platform and sharing here. It feels like such a great creative outlet for me, and I've just been embracing it, and it's been going really well. And that brings me to another goal that I had for 2022. That was to create more content here for YouTube and get on a consistent posting schedule. So my goal was to post once a week and have a few weeks here and there where I would take breaks. And I definitely did that. And I think that that consistency was a huge part in the growth of my channel this year. My channel grew quite a lot. For me, I was actually very happy with the amount of growth that the channel experienced. So at the beginning of this year, I think I had about 4,000 subscribers. And now, as of the filming of this video, we are at almost 50,000 subscribers. We're at 49,000 and some change right now. So I think in my mind at the beginning of the year, I thought, man, it would be really nice to get to 20 or 30,000 subscribers this year. So the fact that we're at almost 50,000 is really exciting for me. YouTube has shown me so much potential and I really want to keep pursuing that. It's been very, very fun, and the community here has been amazing too. That was one of the things that I was kind of nervous about when I first started my channel. I thought, gosh, I'm going to probably have to deal with a bunch of trolls and weirdos on YouTube, and it has not been that way at all. I mean, occasionally a weirdo gets in there, but for the most part, you guys have been so supportive and so encouraging, and the community here has just blown me away. I've really, really enjoyed engaging with you here on YouTube. 2022 also was a year where I just felt so much more grounded in the things that I was doing, not just here on YouTube, but in my business in general. I should back up and say that I have been doing some sort of online business, pursuing entrepreneurship for over a decade. Like, it's been a long time. And there were many moments along the way where I felt, very inexperienced, didn't really know where I was going with things, or wasn't sure what I should be doing, or felt like things weren't moving fast enough. And now I have the wisdom to know that it just takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of consistency. It takes a lot of showing up. It takes a lot of just sticking with it. Now I'm at a point where I feel very comfortable and secure in the direction that I'm taking Pattern Scout, and it feels really good. This year was definitely my best year yet, and I'm very grateful for that. One thing that I can say about kind of the growth of Pattern Scout and the growth of just myself as a business owner in general is that even when I didn't know exactly what I was doing, or I felt really inexperienced, I was always very intentional about the fact that I wanted to be my own boss, and I wanted to choose what I did with my time every day. That has been the constant throughout the many years that I've been pursuing this. And I want to share that because I know that there are probably some of you that are entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, or even people that are aspiring to start a new hobby or just become better at sewing, or any hobby in general. I think it's important to note that consistency and sticking with it and just showing up every day and doing the work, it pays off. So I just wanted to share that little tidbit. Another thing that I decided to do this year, and that I kind of touched on in last year's recap video and 2022 plans video, was I wanted to spend less time on social media, specifically Instagram. Many times when I would be on Instagram, my creativity would feel kind of zapped. It could have been that I was seeing all these people constantly churning out content, and it just felt like, gosh, how am I ever going to keep up with that, And I have a feeling that a lot of people feel similarly about Instagram. The contrast with YouTube is that I feel much more focused on a goal with each video that I'm posting. I spend more time with the content. I feel like I'm more intentional about what I'm trying to say with each video or what I'm trying to show. And it just feels like a natural extension of my creativity. Anyway, this is totally a personal choice, a personal experience, and I know that there's still a lot of value on that platform for other people who enjoy using it, but it just wasn't for me, and I definitely do not regret shifting my focus away from it. So if it's something that you've kind of thought about and you've been kind of nervous to not put energy into Instagram, I can tell you, as someone who has stepped away from it for a year, it's been really beneficial for me, and I don't miss it at all, and I don't feel like it has hurt my business in any way. Okay, now let's talk about my goals for Pattern Scout in 2023. Now, I usually pick a word for the year every year, and this year I did not pick a word. I didn't have a word in mind. Last year my word was consistency, and I think I lived up to that word. I really wanted to be more consistent with my posting here on YouTube, and I definitely did that. This year, I don't really have a word, and I'm just gonna kind of roll with it. I still definitely, though, have some things that I want to work on this year, things that I want to improve on, things that I want to continue building on. So I'm sure it's no surprise that YouTube is at the top of my list for goals for the year. I definitely want to focus more attention here on YouTube. I'd like to continue growing and learning as a video editor and a content creator. I am constantly trying to improve what I'm putting out here, and that part has been very creatively fulfilling for me. I'd also like to be able to post more frequently. So I think once a week is a good schedule, but I definitely had several weeks where I took off this year. I would really like to try to push myself to post more consistently every week and have fewer off weeks. And that is really just going to come down to getting more organized with the way that I film and the way that I edit. And I have gotten a lot better, actually. When I first started editing videos for YouTube, it would take me so long, like days and days, to edit a video. Now I can usually edit in like a day and a half. I can usually edit most videos. If I can have some uninterrupted time, I can kind of blaze right through it. But I really would like to kind of get a system in place where I'm filming and editing the day's footage on the same day. I always say I'm going to do that, and I haven't done it yet, but I want to get more focused. Maybe when I get my planner and write things down, it'll make me a little bit more organized. And I may also start trying to film some of my content in advance. Again, I always say I'm going to do that, and I never get around to it. So we'll see how it goes, but I would definitely like to figure out a way to produce the content a little bit more quickly so that I can do it every week. Now, as far as releasing new patterns for 2023, to be honest, I'm not even sure. I've been pulled more toward the YouTube content lately, and been thinking a lot more about how, instead of creating an actual pattern, maybe showing you more about how I create a pattern and how I draft patterns for myself, because that is really what I enjoy doing the most. And that's also what I have shared the most here on the channel, kind of inadvertently. I've been sharing a lot of that process here with you guys, and I enjoy sharing that way. So I think I'm gonna continue sharing that way here on the YouTube channel and not really give myself a hard goal for a number of pattern releases this year. That doesn't mean that I won't eventually release another pattern, but for now, I'm kind of taking the pressure off and going with my gut here and kind of pursuing the things that are giving me the most creative joy at the moment. This channel has kind of been evolving from one about sewing to one that is more about how I am building a wardrobe that I love. When I first started sewing my own clothing, I put a lot of pressure on myself to sew everything that I wore. And I kind of was getting into this rut of like, well, gosh, I really would prefer to make myself a really nice jacket and not my leggings that I work out in, you know? So I started to kind of set boundaries around the types of things that were important for me to sew for myself and the things that I was okay with buying at a store. So I'd like to keep doing that, and I can see the focus of this channel shifting into more of a wardrobe styling type of channel and less of a strictly sewing channel. Now, that's still kind of hazy exactly what that'll look like. I'll definitely always be sharing sewing content because I still really, really love sewing my wardrobe. And I'd also like to share more thrifting. I thrift so much of my wardrobe and really enjoy that process, so I can definitely see bringing in more thrifting content, which would also include thrift flips. And that kind of loosely brings me to the last thing that I want to talk about for my potential 2023 goal. I don't know for sure that this will happen, but I have been toying with the idea of starting a second channel. And the main reason is that I have a lot of other creative interests that I would like to share that aren't necessarily sewing related. I mean, I am a multi-passionate creative, and you know, I'd like to keep this channel mostly focused on like garment sewing and wardrobe building. To be honest, I have a hard enough time getting one video out a week here. But if I can get my editing chops up to speed, I could definitely see myself starting a second channel at some point. Maybe it won't happen this year, but it's something that I am very seriously considering. For now, it is something that I'm just putting out into the universe without really committing to it, but it is something that I think about constantly. So who knows? We'll see. We will see. Whew. Okay, I think that is just about all I have today. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of getting a little peek behind the scenes of where my mind is at for Pattern Scout. And I just want to thank you so much for being here this year. This year's been so exciting. I've had a lot of growth this year, and I couldn't have done it without your very gracious views and comments and just interacting with the channel. So thank you for that. I think that covers my recap and my plans for the next year. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video and you would like to see more from me, please be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon. That way you'll be notified when I release new videos in the future. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Bye.